Ford has dropped a bombshell that's shaking the entire car market to its core. What they just revealed could flip the US auto industry upside down, leaving rivals like GM, Toyota, and even Tesla scrambling to catch up. But here's the kicker. This move isn't just about cars. It's about power, control, and the future of American manufacturing itself. So what did Ford just do? It starts with the heart of every vehicle, the engine. Ford's engineers have just unveiled a radical new generation of powertrains that are turning the industry's biggest weakness into their ultimate weapon. The company has been quietly developing a next-gen hybrid and a turbo engine platform that promises record-shattering fuel efficiency, higher torque, and lower emissions, all without going fully electric. And here's the twist. Ford isn't abandoning combustion, they're redefining it. For years, automakers rushed to go all in on EVs, but Ford's leadership saw the storm coming. EV sales across the US have slowed down dramatically, inventory is piling up, and consumers are getting frustrated with range anxiety and charging times. So Ford decided to pivot. Instead of forcing everyone into electric vehicles, they're doubling down on choice. Their new engines are built to dominate both hybrid and gas segments, offering insane performance while keeping prices realistic for working-class Americans. But that's just the beginning. Ford has also announced a multi-billion-dollar investment across US manufacturing plants, signaling one of the most aggressive reinvestments in the American auto sector in decades. Over $10 billion is being poured into revamping their Michigan, Kentucky, and Ohio facilities. And this isn't just about production. It's about reclaiming control from overseas supply chains that have crippled the industry for years. Ford wants to bring engine production, battery components, and key electronics back home. And that's a direct challenge to China's growing dominance in the global auto parts supply market. So why is Ford making such an aggressive move right now? The answer is both strategic and political. The US government has been tightening policies on Chinese imports. EV subsidies are shrinking, and the upcoming elections could completely rewrite the EV roadmap. Ford sees this chaos as opportunity. They're positioning themselves as the automaker that's built for uncertainty. They're betting big that the next decade won't be all electric, but rather a hybrid battlefield, where flexibility and innovation win over flashy promises. And here's the most shocking part. Ford's upcoming engine lineup isn't just about cars or trucks. It's about revolutionizing the entire mobility ecosystem. Rumors suggest Ford is working on a new modular engine system that can be adapted across pickup trucks, SUVs, and even commercial fleets, dramatically cutting production costs while boosting reliability. That means the same tech that powers a Ford F-150 could soon be used in delivery vans, construction equipment, and even military-grade vehicles. Meanwhile, competitors are in panic mode. GM is stuck dealing with massive recall issues. Toyota's hybrid dominance is being challenged, and Tesla is facing serious production slowdowns. Ford just saw the opening, and they're charging through it like a freight train. This isn't just another product launch, it's a statement. Ford is saying loud and clear, we're not following the EV trend, we're rewriting the rules. But the question everyone's asking now is, what's Ford's end game? Because when a company this old starts acting this bold, you know something huge is about to unfold. Ford isn't just protecting their market share, they're preparing to reshape the entire US auto landscape from the ground up. And when you look closer, it becomes clear. Ford's strategy isn't about survival anymore, it's about dominance. The automaker has quietly been building an ecosystem that goes far beyond cars and trucks. From advanced battery research partnerships with US-based tech firms to developing its own domestic raw material supply chain, Ford is setting the stage for something much bigger. A complete American automotive revival. Think about it. While rivals are cutting costs and outsourcing critical parts overseas, Ford is pulling the opposite move. They're reshoring manufacturing, hiring thousands of American workers, and building what insiders are calling the most advanced engine assembly network in North America. These facilities aren't just designed for today's vehicles now, they're being built with future flexibility in mind. That means Ford could switch production from gas to hybrid to full electric within months, depending on market shifts. That's an unheard of level of agility in the car industry, and let's talk about why this matters now. The auto market is on the edge of a meltdown. Interest rates are high, inventories are ballooning, and consumers are holding back. Ford's leadership knows they can't rely on hype anymore. They need stability, affordability, and power that people can trust. Their new generation of EcoBoost hybrid engines promises exactly that. more torque, longer range, and far fewer maintenance issues than most EVs on the road today. But the real masterstroke? Ford's upcoming Blue Oval powertrain program. It's an initiative designed to merge hybrid and EV technologies under one unified platform, giving Ford the ability to produce vehicles that can seamlessly shift between combustion and electric systems depending on market demand. Insiders say this could reduce production costs by up to 30%, allowing Ford to undercut both EV and traditional gas competitors at the same time. Meanwhile, Wall Street is watching closely. Investors were expecting Ford to fall behind in the electric race, but this sudden pivot toward flexible innovation has caught everyone off guard. Analysts are now calling this move Ford's moonshot moment. Because if this gamble pays off, it won't just make Ford profitable again, it could redefine what American automaking even means. And here's where things get even more interesting. Ford's not just betting on cars, they're expanding their influence into energy storage, AI-driven manufacturing, and autonomous fleet logistics. In other words, they're quietly transforming from an automaker into a full-scale mobility and infrastructure powerhouse. Ford is aiming to control not just what Americans drive, but how America moves. This is why every other automaker is nervous. GM, Toyota, Stellantis, they've all taken sides in the EV war, but Ford just built a new battlefield. They're creating a system where hybrid engines and electric tech coexist, not compete. It's a move that could attract millions of skeptical buyers who want innovation without giving up convenience. And behind all of this, there's a sense that Ford knows something the rest of the industry doesn't. Maybe it's the data showing consumers pulling back from EV purchases. Maybe it's the rising cost of lithium. Or maybe, just maybe, Ford's leadership sees the future of cars not as electric or gas-powered, but as something entirely new. Because according to leaked internal reports, Ford's next-generation engines are being developed with synthetic fuel and hydrogen compatibility, giving them the ability to adapt as global energy standards shift. If true, this would make Ford the only major automaker ready for every possible outcome. EV dominance, hybrid transition, or even a clean fuel revolution. And that's what makes this bombshell so powerful. Ford isn't reacting to the market, they're steering it. They're betting billions that their American-built innovation will outlast the uncertainty, outpace the competition, and outsmart the chaos that's coming. But here's the twist most people don't see yet. This aggressive push could trigger a price war across the US car market, forcing other automakers to either match Ford's strategy or collapse under pressure. And that's where things start to get really interesting. Because if Ford ignites a price war, it could completely reshape the balance of power in the auto world. Imagine this. Trucks that used to cost $70,000 now dropping below $45,000. SUVs with hybrid systems offering 800-mile ranges at prices families can actually afford. Ford isn't just challenging its rivals, it's cornering the market on value. And in an economy where people are stretched thin, that could make Ford unstoppable. Dealerships are already buzzing with early insider talk that Ford plans to undercut not only GM's Silverado and RAM's 1500 lineup, but even Toyota's Tundra hybrids. The idea is simple but brutal. Flood the market with affordable, high-performance hybrids that dominate both power and efficiency. It's a strategy straight out of the early 2000s Ford playbook, but this time with cutting-edge tech and global precision. And while other automakers are laying off staff or cutting production, Ford is hiring. Thousands of new jobs are being created across the Midwest, and that's not just a business move, it's a political statement. Ford wants to position itself as America's automaker, the one company standing firm when the rest of the world outsources. You can already feel the ripple effects. Suppliers are moving operations back to U.S. soil. Steel and aluminum contracts are being renegotiated, and local economies are surging where Ford plants expand. But let's talk about what's fueling this aggression. Because this isn't just about profits. Ford's leadership team, led by CEO Jim Farley, has made it clear the company's future depends on taking control of its own destiny. For too long, automakers have been dependent on global supply chains that buckle under political tension. The chip shortages, the lithium crunch, the logistical nightmares. Ford's done waiting for someone else to fix those problems. They're fixing them themselves. The company's newest plan involves creating self-sufficient production ecosystems where batteries, engines, and vehicle electronics are all made under one network. That means Ford can build vehicles faster, cheaper, and with tighter quality control than competitors still dependent on overseas suppliers. It's a move that's not only bold, it's revolutionary. And behind the scenes, there's another layer most people don't know yet. Ford is reportedly working on a domestic energy grid partnership with multiple U.S. states to establish fast charging and hybrid refueling corridors across the country. The vision? A coast-to-coast infrastructure that supports both EV and hybrid vehicles, giving Ford customers total freedom. No range anxiety, no long waits, no dependency on foreign battery tech. Meanwhile, Tesla is struggling to maintain margins, GM is drowning in recalls, and Toyota is facing pressure from tightening U.S. regulations. Ford is seizing the chaos, turning every weakness in the market into its opportunity. They're not following trends. They're building an empire around stability and adaptability. But the real bombshell, the one that's sending shockwaves through boardrooms, is that Ford's internal data projects a massive hybrid boom over the next 5 years. The company predicts that as EV demand plateaus, hybrids will surge past 60% of total sales in North America by 2028. And guess who will be ready to own that market? Ford. Every move they're making, every dollar invested, is aimed at that horizon. The future isn't going to belong to whoever shouts EIV revolution the loudest. It's going to belong to the company that can deliver power, range, and reliability at a price the average American can actually afford. And Ford knows it. They're preparing to launch what insiders are calling a hybrid domination wave, with vehicles rolling out one after another, from F-150s and Rangers to Explorers and Mustangs, all equipped with next-gen hybrid systems that redefine performance and practicality. And yet, Ford's biggest play might still be hidden. Rumors suggest there's a secret flagship project underway, something entirely new, something that could change how we think about the modern vehicle altogether. According to leaked reports from inside Ford's Dearborn headquarters, this secret flagship project has been codenamed Project Redwood. Insiders say it's not just another truck or SUV. It's being described as a transformational platform that could bridge the gap between internal combustion, hybrid, and fully electric systems all in one modular design. Imagine a single vehicle architecture capable of switching between powertrains depending on what the market, or even the driver she needs. This isn't science fiction. It's Ford rewriting the rulebook of modern engineering. Early whispers claim Project Redwood could debut as soon as 2026, and if that happens, it would instantly make every other automaker's current lineup look outdated. Why? Because Ford's new chassis and drivetrain system will be software configurable, meaning performance modes, fuel mapping, and energy output could be changed on demand. No engine swap required. Essentially, Ford's building a smart vehicle that evolves over time, not one that becomes obsolete every 5 years. And this move connects perfectly with Ford's larger ambition: to create a vehicle lifecycle that never dies. In the near future, instead of trading in your car, you'll simply upgrade its software, replace a module, or retrofit new tech. This kind of long-term adaptability not only saves consumers money, but also helps Ford dominate the service and subscription market, a space worth hundreds of billions globally. But here's where the story gets even more dramatic. Ford's aggressive push is starting to rattle international markets. European automakers are worried that Ford's hybrid strategy could crush their expensive EV plans, especially as energy prices in Europe skyrocket. And in China, Ford's move threatens local brands who rely heavily on cheap battery supply chains. If Ford succeeds in proving that hybrids and advanced combustion engines can be just as efficient without expensive rare earth materials, the entire global EV economy could face a major shakeup. Even more telling is the sudden shift in tone from Washington, D.C. Policy insiders are now viewing Ford as the model for American automotive resilience. It's no coincidence that Ford's timing aligns perfectly with growing calls for domestic manufacturing incentives and trade protections. By leaning into this Made in America, Built for the World strategy, Ford isn't just chasing profit, it's securing political leverage. Every new factory and every new job is strengthening its influence in ways that go far beyond the showroom floor. And yet, underneath all this optimism, there's still tension brewing. Industry analysts warn that Ford is walking a fine line, taking on massive financial risks in a volatile economy. Investing billions in retooling plants, building new supply chains, and launching next-gen engines could backfire if consumer demand shifts faster than expected. But Ford's leadership seems unfazed. Jim Farley's latest statement suggests the company welcomes the risk. In his words, "You can't lead a revolution by playing it safe." That kind of confidence is rare, and it's starting to spread. Ford's suppliers, investors, and even rival executives are beginning to admit that something is changing in Detroit. The vibe is shifting. It feels like the old American auto spirit, bold, loud, and fearless, is roaring back to life. And maybe that's the real bombshell here. Ford isn't just launching engines or factories, they're reigniting an identity. A message that America can still lead the world in innovation, not by following trends, but by rewriting them. And if this momentum continues, if Project Redwood and the new hybrid wave hit the market as planned, we could be witnessing the dawn of a new automotive era. One where Ford doesn't just compete, it dominates. But what's even more intriguing is what Ford's next move might be. Because recent leaks suggest that their ambitions might stretch far beyond cars, into an entirely new industry that could redefine transportation itself. And this is where everything takes an unexpected turn. Because what Ford is planning next isn't just about vehicles on the road. It's about transforming how America moves altogether. Sources close to the company hint that Ford is laying the groundwork for a new kind of mobility infrastructure. Something that could merge automotive technology with renewable energy, logistics, and even aviation. Yes, aviation. Ford has quietly invested in advanced air mobility startups working on electric and hybrid-powered vertical takeoff and landing (eVTOL) aircraft. Imagine a future where your Ford truck, your work fleet, and your local air delivery drones are all running on the same integrated platform. Powered by Ford's own battery systems, software, and energy grid. That's not some far-fetched sci-fi dream. It's an expansion of Ford's growing strategy to control the entire mobility chain. But why would Ford, a company known for trucks and Mustangs, step into aviation and infrastructure? The answer lies in control, energy control. Ford has realized that whoever owns the power source, the charging network, and the logistics infrastructure doesn't just sell cars. They own the future. And that's exactly why they're investing heavily in renewable microgrids, local power storage systems, and even AI-driven logistics hubs. The goal? To create a self-sustaining Ford ecosystem where every product, from your pickup truck to your delivery van to your personal drone, connects through Ford's software network, powered by American-made energy solutions. This could completely destroy the traditional boundaries between car makers, energy companies, and tech giants. Meanwhile, Ford's rivals are being caught completely off guard. GM's Ultium platform can't pivot to non-automotive uses as easily. Tesla's grid plans are facing government pushback, and Toyota's focus remains tightly on ground vehicles. Ford's hybrid-first, infrastructure-second approach suddenly looks not just smart, but visionary. And let's not forget, this isn't the first time Ford has led a global shift. Over a century ago, Henry Ford revolutionized manufacturing with the moving assembly line. Now, Jim Farley's team seems poised to repeat history. Only this time, it's with a moving ecosystem instead of a moving line. Every vehicle, every engine, every kilowatt of power, connected, optimized, and American-made. But there's something even more intriguing beneath the surface. Something Ford hasn't confirmed publicly, but insiders are whispering about. A classified internal division, known only as Ford Horizon, is said to be developing next-generation autonomous transport systems. Vehicles that can operate across land, air, and logistics zones using shared AI intelligence. Think self-driving trucks that coordinate with delivery drones and autonomous forklift, all running on Ford's proprietary software. And if that's true, Ford isn't just competing with automakers anymore. They're stepping into the ring with tech titans like Amazon, Google, and SpaceX, companies that have dominated data, delivery, and energy for years. Ford's ambition, it seems, goes far beyond selling cars. They're building the digital and physical backbone for the next century of movement. And they want to make sure it's built in America, not overseas. This is what makes Ford's bombshell so shocking. It's not one move, it's a chain reaction. From reinventing the combustion engine to building AI logistics systems, Ford is rewriting its entire DNA.